Welcome to No Cap, Just the Rap, where we give our take on the hottest TV shows, media moments, and trending topics. Today, we're recapping Indian Matchmaking Season 3, Episodes 2 through 4. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Episodes 2 through 4 yet, there will be some spoilers. All right, so when we last left off, we were meeting Priya and Bobby, and we also were with Roshali and Viral and her guy. So let's just head right back over to London, and we meet up with Seema Monty, who decided to pair up Priya and Bobby, which I knew from the beginning this was a no-go, in my opinion, but I tried to keep an open mind and see, okay, well, maybe Seema sees something that I don't see yet, so okay. On their first date, they went to a dance class together, and they seem to get along really well. You know, Bobby is just so outgoing and fun, and so they got along really well. I couldn't help but be distracted by Bobby's high heel shoes. I know that some guys can wear them in dance class, but to me, it just stood out in a bad way. And I think it also stood out in a bad way for Priya also, because she pointed it out. And ultimately, she did decide to friend zone Bobby. And so that was a no-go. And who didn't see that coming? I mean, I could see that coming. So Priya and Bobby, that was a no. But afterwards, Seema went ahead and tried to pair her with someone else, a guy named Jai, who seemed like a nice guy. They met up for dinner, but the conversation just went left. She wasn't really attracted to him to begin with. And it was just a no-go, I think, on both their ends. So that was, But then, surprisingly, Monty paired her with a guy named Vimal, who was just her type. Right away, she loved his top knot hairstyle. She was physically attracted to him. He seemed to be physically attracted to her. They were both excited. They connected on a physical and emotional level. The conversation just seemed to flow between the both of them. And so I'm really hoping that this enthusiasm lasts, because she went back and bragged to her friends, and I'm assuming he's bragging to his. And so this seems like a, quote, perfect match. So I'm hoping this will be a check for Seema Monty, and she got this one right. But that remains to be seen. So next we move on to Roshali, who is a bit strange to me. Again, she has so much going for her. I think she's beautiful, highly intelligent, excellent daughter, loves her parents to bits and pieces, but she's very insecure and codependent on her parents. Like, it's one thing to really love and honor and, really want to spend time with your parents. But it's another thing to be codependent. And I think she leans more on the codependent side of things. And so it makes her dating off. And when we see her, I think around episode 4, she meets with a relationship advisor, and she reveals that when she was only 4 years old, her parents sent her away to a boarding school. And so that to me was shocking. I couldn't believe it. But in my opinion, that explains a lot. So that's her childhood upbringing, the fact that she was separated at her parents at such a pivotal young age, I think is what has added to her codependency on them, and why she has such issues having her own identity separate from them. And so I was really shocked to hear that. But again, it explained a lot, and now I feel like I understand her better. And so when Monty tried to give her like a few choices, and she decided to go on a date with this guy named Tushar, who, in my opinion, was very attractive. But Roshali was hesitant, very nervous to go on a date. She was jumping way ahead in her thoughts. She was like, well, what if this, what if that? And she was just really nervous, like extremely nervous. Like she almost didn't even want to go out with anyone. So they eventually meet up for dinner, and things seem to go extremely well. Right off the bat, they're initially attracted to one another. The conversation seems to be flowing. They each began to relax and just enjoy each other's company. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm getting so excited. This is going to be a match. We're going to have a wedding. Woohoo! And then the conversation turns towards her living with her parents and her codependency on her parents. And that's when things kind of went left, because Tushar has the exact opposite view on relationships with parents and things like that. And so he expressed that to her. She was turned off. He was turned off at how she expressed her codependency with her parents. And so the conversation and the date just went left, and then it went all the way downhill from there. And they were just like, by the end of dinner, they were both just over it and ready to call it a night. So that was that. And I'm like, oh boy, is this going to keep on happening with Roshali? I don't know, but I'm still hoping, have my fingers crossed, that now that she's seen the advisor and she has more of an idea of what's going on with her psychologically, that maybe she can overcome some of this. That's what I'm hoping, and find love. So then we go over to Viral and her guy, and things are looking really great for them. Oh my goodness, they're looking like they're gonna give us a wedding. I'm like, oh yes. They both fly over to India so he can introduce her to his parents for the first time. Seema Monty accompanies her for added support, which I like, but which also makes it also formal, because I'm like, oh my goodness, it almost feels like an interview, which I guess it was. So fortunately, although she was nervous, Viral gets along so well with his parents. They seem to give their blessing, and so that was a win. She definitely did great during her Meet the Parents interview. And then after that, we see the couple going shopping in a jewelry store, and he surprised her by buying her like a really expensive diamond bracelet, which seemed to like throw her off a little bit. I don't know if she's just maybe like one of those, women who is not too comfortable with accepting expensive gifts from, their boyfriends or whatever. So she was a little taken aback, but she did graciously accept it and say thank you. And then he also encouraged her to try on rings. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm guessing he wanted her to try on rings just so he could know her ring size, so he can buy her an engagement ring, which is like so obvious, but still cute. I still love that. And then we catch up with them after they return back to the U.S. They're in North Carolina having dinner with her parents. Conversation is going great. Her parents love him, getting along great. Then we see them getting dressed up really fancy, heading out on a date. So I'm assuming that maybe he's going to propose on this date. I cannot wait to find out. But my fingers are crossed, and I'm feeling very hopeful that this date is the date where he's going to propose. So we'll see. And then we also meet a newcomer, a guy named Vikash. He's a 39-year-old ER doctor located in Davis, California. He's a self-proclaimed life of the party type person. He also works part-time as a party host, which is different. You don't see too many doctors who work part-time as a party host. So he definitely stands out, a bit unique, a bit of a unicorn. But he's very nice and seems very pleasant. He came across a little picky, though. He definitely had his list. And on his list, he kind of made a big deal of wanting an Indian woman who knew how to speak Hindi. That was important to him. Even though he's not practicing Hindu, he still preferred to have a woman who can speak the language, even though he's not totally fluent either and is still kind of learning. But he wanted his significant other to be fluent in the language. And so Seema Monty ended up pairing him with a beautiful young lady named Anu. And on their first date, they went on a painting class and surprisingly got along great. I was like, okay, I didn't think she would be too into him as he was into her. But she was. She had even though she was very beautiful, she had a very open mind. She was a bit younger than him, but very mature. And they just seemed to really hit it off on a physical level and an emotional level. And they ended up going out on 3 dates, meeting each other's friends, and just having a really great time. Really no complaints as far as like the vibe and the energy between them. But it was shocking when he complained to Seema that he was thinking maybe he needed to move on because he couldn't get past the fact that she does not speak Hindi and also that she is younger than him. So even though he's not totally fluent in Hindi, and even though she's very mature and not like young acting or foolish, he still is curious to look into dating someone else, which is like, okay, is he one of those guys that's like always thinking the grass is greener on the other side and never truly can be happy with anyone? Because this woman definitely checks a lot of other boxes. Very attractive, very easygoing, open-minded, gets along well with everyone that he's introduced her to. So the chemistry seemed to be great between them. So I was a little thrown off. Seema Monty wasn't having it. Right away, she told him, look, you're being ridiculous. You are going to end up ruining a great thing. And before I set you up with anyone else, you're going to have to go on another date with her again. Give it another try because I think you are about to ruin a good thing. So he ultimately agrees to go out on another date, which he should. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Are they going to end up falling in love and getting married, living happily ever after? Or is he going to give up on a great thing, possibly, and just keep dating around? That remains to be seen, but I cannot wait to find out. I can't wait to start episode 5. I'm so excited. I'm going to binge watch episodes 5 through 8. I cannot wait. I hope that we get some weddings this season. I want to see some beautiful Indian weddings. That's what I'm hoping. I have my fingers crossed. Let me know what you think. Do you guys think any of the couples are a good match so far? Well, do you think that we'll probably get any weddings this season? I hope so. This has been No Cap, Just the Rap recap on Indian Matchmaking Season 3, Episodes 2 through 4. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.